guys, I want to do another quick update on the rig, and also wanted to answer some questions that some people had about some of the specifics on the InWin 303 as well. Alright, well first up, I recently purchased a used EVGA GTX 980 Ti. It's the SC Plus version that comes with the backplate, replacing my GTX 970 SSC with this card. I do game at 96 Hz at 1440p, and the 970 is just not holding up anymore. So I was able to get this for around $300, so still was a bit cheaper than the 1070 and still has quite a bit of oomph left in it, so just picked that up. I had a couple people inquire about SLI or Crossfire X to see how well it would work in this case. So what I did, I just took my dual slot GTX 970. I went ahead and tried to install it on the basically the bottom slot of my motherboard to give me the best spacing I possibly could, and it wouldn't fit. The intake fans at the bottom I think are standard 25mm in thickness, and they're just a hair thick, or a hair too thick, so the graphics card would not install because of it. If you were to install some thinner intake fans at the bottom, then you could potentially have that better spacing. But in this case, I basically had to go one step down from the top slide, so the spacing is not optimal, especially with open air coolers where you have your top cards at least going to increase in temperatures of 10°C or more. So if you had two blower cards, or if you had two cards in water cooling, I could see it being fine. But with two open air coolers, it's not preference, especially for if you had two 250-watt TDP cards like the 980 Ti. I also wanted to make a mention that InWin does supply a GPU retention bracket, which helps keep your GPU from sagging, just in case if you have a heavy GPU. I did have some people ask me about what it looks like behind my tray, and surprise, it looks fantastic. Actually, it looks like crap. It looks like a rat's nest. To be honest, I haven't done any cable management behind the motherboard tray or behind anything right now. It looks terrible. But I wanted to show at least where the hard drives install. There's a green drive up top right now, and right below that you can install another 3.5-inch hard drive if you'd like. I also have a Silverstone fan controller at the bottom there. All the fans in the case plug into it. It's a relatively inexpensive fan controller. Nothing perfect, but it's cheap and it works fine. So it looks like this, but yeah, pretty much. Now this is just based on my experience, but I did notice, since there's not a ton of room between your front glass and the intake fans on your CPU radiator, I did notice some increased temperatures going from my Corsair 500R to this case. I think it's between anywhere from 5 to 10°C I've seen an increase, just depending on the circumstance. You'll notice this if you actually pull the glass off. You'll see your CPU temps drop dramatically. And this is just because all the intakes, all the air is coming up from the bottom of the case. It's feeding the video card. If the video card is being utilized, then it's obviously putting out hot air. And the hot air is basically just going up to the top and being sucked in by the intake radiator fans, and the hot air is being expelled out the back. So it's kind of using recycled air to cool the CPU. So I definitely noticed an increase in temperatures because of this. And to prove that, I pulled off the front glass and temperatures dropped. So everybody obviously may experience something different, but in my case, I have seen increased CPU temperatures compared to my old case. So that's pretty much it. Just again wanted to do another update. If anybody has any questions about the case or whatever it may be, feel free to ask them in the comments section. If you're also wanting to know, I did use some vinyl stickers and made my own vinyl stickers and put them on the CPU cooler because I did not like the way the Thermaltake design looked on the CPU block. And I did also custom design my own vinyl sticker to go over the SSD because really wasn't anything on it. So anyways, again, if anybody has any questions, just let me know. Thanks for watching the video.